I'm advising CSUMB chapter, as I mentioned before, and volunteering at the aquarium. I was initially introduced to ALD when I inherited the role of the advisor in a position in New York. The tools I'm about to share, and I put in the chat a link that will allow you to play along at home as I go through this. But the tools I'm about to share are things that I use with the different chapters. And I'm going to talk about some different things today, some different areas: member survey, birthday celebrations, games, prizes and incentives, icebreakers, and bonus recruitment ideas, hopefully. And you've got links attached to the sheet that will give you resources in all of these areas. For surveys, you have a link to the text from the CSUMB fall survey. The response rate varies over the years. The prize incentive that's listed there is used as an additional motivation to get members to tell us what they wanted. The survey includes demographic information, meeting and activity options based on things that we have done in the past or that we're considering. There's also the column that says, I want to help plan. And that one identifies members that the officers can reach out to for planning assistance. Also included some links for the different survey sites that I've used over the years. I like Qualtrics for the fall survey because it's kind of big, but Qualtrics also allows you to schedule reminders, because a lot of times people will get a survey, not fill it out, but if a couple of days later they get a reminder, then they'll fill it out. And Qualtrics doesn't send to the people who filled it out, just the ones who haven't. And some of these may already be available on your campus automatically. Switching over to birthdays, you can definitely use those as a way to engage people, because people would love to come to the meeting and have their birthday celebrated. You can do it through social media. You can send an email. I provided in the handout 2 different sites with kind of samples of electronic birthday cards. You also, from the survey, we had the birth month and day was asked, and people had the option to provide it. At the first meeting, when they saw the slides with the birthdays on it, we gave the option. The secretary sent out something and gave, through a Google form, the option of other members who want us to celebrate their birthday even though they didn't fill out the survey, and that form has been filling up. For games and activities, a couple that are on the sheet, you have the answers and hints for 3 different sites. The last pre-COVID activity we did at CSUMB was a local escape room, and people enjoyed it. So we shifted to virtual escape rooms during COVID. And the virtual escape rooms can be completed in about 30 minutes if you go straight through them. You can also add prompts in between each puzzle section to make it more social. For Halloween, we're going to do, escape room. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to do a virtual escape room and also do a background and contest, costume contest for members. The next one that you have is Kahoot, which I'm guessing many of you used during COVID, but can still be used in person. There's also a link for a Pictionary type game that you can play online, or you can set up a room for a group of people to play together. Regression night is an idea that basically you do this before finals to relax. You get games from your childhood, coloring books, pick up sticks, jacks, checkers, Candyland. If the members don't enjoy it, you can also donate the items to a shelter or keep them and use them year after year. You have scavenger hunt bingo, which is an online run around your home or room to grab various things to fill the bingo card. The samples that I shared are from quarantine bingo, which we played when most members were still at home, and that was very popular. The next thing is the Wordies. There's a PowerPoint and print version. It's a rebus type word puzzle. It's probably best I'll show you very quickly a few of them. And so there are things like mind over matter. And basically these would go up, people would yell out the answers, you give them tickets and use them for prizes at the end. You give them clues, such as this is a football term, so many of you just said touchdown to yourself. You may have had these for breakfast. If you're really quick or seen these, you would have said scrambled eggs. Related to regression night, childhood story, Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. And I'll only torture you with one more, which is one of my favorites, even though the food is not my favorite, but this is tuna fish or tuna fish. So there's a whole list of those. In addition, I provided a print version that's actually 4 pages of wordies. So if you love these, you'll be in heaven. If not, maybe you'll get to love them. But it's 4 pages. I've used these in the past as a team builder or icebreaker for large groups by putting them on a table, and the people at the table are asked to kind of work together to try to complete them for bragging rights. Or sometimes prizes. Speaking of prizes and incentives, basically for our meetings, we'll give a door prize at the monthly meeting to entice members to drop in as they arrive, virtually or in person. When we're doing, depending on how the meeting is, we'll put their names down, and then at the end of the meeting, we will spin the wheel. And basically with this particular one, there are a lot of different ones online. You can, before you show it, you can close ads, you can hide your list, and then when the time comes, you click to spin the wheel, and it has sound effects as well. And then you select a winner. If you're doing multiple winners, you can remove that person and then pick another winner. So that's the wheel of names that you can use for prizes. Also, you have a link to a conversation starter from Conversation Starter World. It's basically 200 icebreaker questions, so you'll never want for another prompt. But if your meetings are small, our meetings tend to be small, so we actually go around and each person introduces themselves, major, and then we'll have a prompt. You can also use them for officer meetings if you have a large meeting and that would take the whole meeting to do, or with committees to learn more about each other. One of the other things in the icebreaker section on the form is human bingo. Basically, you have a human bingo card and people go around and get initials based on finding someone with their same hair color or someone who's wearing glasses. The sample you have is our Otter bingo card, and Otter is the CSUMB mascot. So it has some campus and California items that are specific. When you do yours, you can definitely customize it for your campus and state. The other thing mentioned for icebreakers is kind of a, for in person, you can have people stand up if they have a certain characteristic. So you can ask people to stand up if they're a particular major, and then people can look around the room and find out who the other business majors are. If you're online, you ask everyone to turn off their videos and then ask people who are watching Rings of Power, turn their video on. And that way they'll be able to look around and see who they can talk to about the most recent episode. ALD resources, I don't need to spend time. I'll just echo kind of what you've heard over and over. So you've got links. All of these have ideas for your chapter. And as noted, resource running it, ideas. One of these is the one that Eileen pointed out with all of the kind of best of from former chapters. And a few ideas for recruitment. One would be sponsoring events for first-year students who made the dean's list, and you can either kind of help. There's the one that's in the example, residence halls did a smart cookie, and we kind of went and helped them put that on, and then we would have a table in the back, or we would do a quick announcement. The other thing you have is a sheet called Things I Wish I Had Known. And that can be compiled by the officers and members of your campus. It's basically a list of things looking back that they wish they had known in their first year. So it's a resource sheet on one side, and on the other side, Alpha Lambda Delta information, and they can be shared with prospective members at open houses or whenever you're tabling, or even attached to recruitment materials. And getting through that, that's everything.